Vanakkam. Greetings. My pen name is Seval Seer. I have recently published a book. Its underlying theme is Be Happy and Make Happy. It all began 25 years ago when I was 26, 27. I was confronted with an existential crisis. I started asking age-old questions. Who am I? What is happiness? Is there a central theme that drives our life? What holds us back? What propels us forward? These are age-old questions. Few people ask, fewer even find answers. But for me, they were central part of my thinking. I needed to find answers to lead a happy and a resilient life. Now, after more than 25 years, I am in my mid-50s. I have formed a view of an outlook, a way of life, which I called spiritual seal. How we as human beings engage life holistically and authentically with a progressive increase in happiness in our life and that of the others. It is rooted in ancient wisdom. It is also enriched by modern psychology, but it is not an academic endeavor. It's not a research work. It's not just gathering knowledge. It is a thirst of a practitioner who was looking to change life. I do believe in the concept of paying it forward. There were mountains of wisdom available to me across time, across geography, of those who were compassionate to leave that behind for some of us to make use of it. Then there were few people who were helping and guiding me in making use of those. Now it is my turn to leave something, even if it is a tiny contribution that might help, even if it is few people, in their pursuit to happiness. For the rest of the session, I will give an overview of the book with the hope that it might add value to someone out there, which would serve one of the primary purpose of me publishing this book. But this book has received already some initial positive feedback. Let's call it baby ripples. I will share them, and then we will commence our journey with some of you. Shall we begin? I have recently published a book titled VEL Way, Be Happy and Make Happy. The book was only published in November 2023. It has already made positive impression in the marketplace. It is available in all formats in commonly known retailers. The Publishers Newswire has selected this book as one of the 8 books to bookmark for this year. Reader's View and Reader's Favorite has given it 5-star ratings. You can read some of the positive feedback they have given from the extract of their full report, which is also available in the internet. But this effort is not about recognition or rewards. One of the primary objectives is to be able to contribute to even fewer people's pursuits towards happiness. Before we can answer the question, who am I? What is happiness? Let's create a framework within which we can discuss this. Something we can all relate to and, intuitively obvious. If we compare life to a journey across the sea, the numerous waves can be compared to needs that arises in our lives and the experiences that results as we try to fulfill them. Now let's try to answer those questions within this analogy. To explain this a little bit further, I have borrowed two notions, one from modern psychology, the other one is from ancient Hindu wisdom. Abraham Maslow defined hierarchy of needs, where the lower needs are more potent and urgent, but as we fulfill them, we become aware of higher needs and we pursue. The higher needs are richer in quality and also last longer. The lower needs are obviously more urgent. So, physical needs, um, then safety needs, sense of belonging or emotional needs, esteem or intellectual needs to be recognized. And the last one is self actualization. To be the self one truly is, as Danish spiritualist and a philosopher Søren Kierkegaard calls it. Strikingly similar, but obviously defined many centuries ago, in Hindu Upanishads, there is a 5 sheets of experience that corresponds to these needs. First is more of a physical or body, a physical experience. Second one is called the vital sheath or the physiological experience. Then you have emotional, intellectual, and the last one is the spiritual experience or what is called bliss, the sheath of bliss. And now, if you use these two, let's now try to answer the question, who am I? Let's look at the first two set of needs and experience and explore the question of who am I? The heart of this is a fundamental question as to which notion do we subscribe to. Am I a fixed thing? That is, I'm taking a notion of I am this. Or am I an evolving awareness, taking a notion that I am that I am? Ancient Hindu wisdom suggests the latter. But let's make it a bit more real and concrete for us. From a physical and safety needs perspective, and looking at corresponding experience of physical and physiological experience. What are the faculties? So you have physical and physiological faculties, as well as the mental overlay, also the assets, meaning money and other things. Tirumandiram, one of the ancient Hindu wisdom, originated from Tamil Nadu, the southern part of India, put it very accurately. What is our reality in this state of awareness? It is limited by what can be perceived by 5 senses, what can be engaged or acted upon by 5 instruments of action, that is, hands, legs, anus, genital, and mouth, along with 4 inner faculties: emotions, intellect, and an awareness center or an intuitive capability, and finally a faculty that is able to put together a notion of I am this. Sometimes you call it the ego. So what is beyond that? That is our reality. Now the question is, are we that which we experience through these faculties, or are we that is aware of these experiences? Again, the ancient wisdom suggest the latter. So if you ask a basic question, who are you? If your answer is, I am male, female, or I am rich, or I am poor, or I'm strong, or I'm handsome, or beautiful, then you are subscribing to a notion that you are your body and physiological functioning. Or if you are saying, I am aware of this and I experience reality, physiological reality through these capabilities, and I have experienced and evolved from this, then you are an awareness that is aware of physical and physiological experience. Let's call this A. Now let's take the next two needs and experience. The needs being love or sense of belonging or emotional needs. The other one is called esteem or the need to be recognized, leave a legacy behind. And obviously, the corresponding experiences are emotional and intellectual experience. And the faculties that goes with that includes intellectual and emotional faculties, and the awareness is that which is aware. Now, when you purely looking at these, as per Tirumandram, you drop the first 10 instruments. You're primarily dealing with your inner four instruments. Again, emotional, intellectual, intuitive, and a sense of I am. It is almost can be compared to a dream because the formation of what the relationship you have and what recognition you have doesn't have a physical reality. It's a mental construction or a experience. So here again you got to ask the question, am I defined by my relationships or a sense of belonging? Am I defined by how others recognize me, or am I the awareness that is aware of these things, experience this, and evolve with that? So if someone asks you in this plane, who are you? Is your answer going to be, I'm a father, mother, brother, or that I'm a member of that religious community, or this country, I am this citizen, or all of these is your emotional and intellectual experience, but you are that which is aware of this, experience this, and evolve from that. The first four needs in the hierarchy of needs we looked at are also called deficiency needs, in the sense the more you have it, less the potency of that need to pursue further. You have enough food, you're not going to spend all your day looking for food, and so on and so forth. It is a need of yours with respect to something outside you. As you fill the needs, less is the motivation to gather more. So you move to the next level. Now you get to, after you evolve beyond the fourth need, which is esteem or intellectual need, there is a pivot. You get into more of a spiritual need to become your highest self. This is called the growth need. Here, the more you have it, the more motivated you are to evolve towards that. So, here the object of awareness is yourself and your life as a whole. And you become a witness of your own life and on your own self. Those who have learned meditation even a little bit, you will understand what you do there. You still all your other faculties, your senses, your emotions, and your thoughts. And you just observe. I mean, initially you may be asked to observe your breathing, but as you evolve, you just observe the thoughts as a witness. You can see that the emotions and thoughts arise, evolve, and subside and dissolve. So use a step back and watch your whole life and watch yourself and your faculties operate. I mean, meditation is obviously a technique to train, but in life, you become a witness. So, self here is not what happens in life, but that which is aware of what happens in life within the larger context of ultimate self. Tirumandram has beautifully put it, letting go of possessions, finding solitude in the heart, letting go of the mind, transcending the emotions and intellect, in the vast space of being without a body, is to exist in meditative awareness. In the sense, you don't cling or identify with the body or mind. You become an awareness of both. So you become an awareness of body and mind, and you become a witness of your whole life. This is called meditative awareness. So here, if someone asks you what you are a witness of your own evolution, of your own life. Now let's try to answer the question, who am I? We are not this siloed individual sense of awareness. We are a holistic, integrated being. So this holistic awareness or sacred awareness is otherwise called Om. It is the most sacred word in all religions that originated in India, whether it's Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, whatever you call it, you will find the word Om as the most sacred word. And it is defined well in Tirumandram and Upanishads. But we are not focused on those. Let's just look at what they really mean. The holistic awareness is that which is aware of physical, physiological, psychological, as well as intuitive, as a synthesis, not as a siloed capability, as a holistic awareness at every moment, here and now. We are a holistic awareness that engages with the world, experiences the world, and evolve from that. That's a lofty statement. Now let's park spirituality and religion. Let's look at science. The first person to coin the term self-actualization is a neurologist and a psychologist. His name is Kurt Goldstein. He wrote a book called Organism. In that book, he describes that self-actualization is not just the ultimate need, but the most foundational need. All other needs are secondary. He says the healthy organization has a natural tendency to take the path of self-actualization. Anything that clings is usually in a state of stress. It's an unhealthy state. So evolution towards a notion of the ultimate self or ultimate being is the natural process of every living being. Carl Rogers, who is another eminent psychologist, state the same. He published a paper called Fully Functioning Person, and he defines self-actualization as the most natural and healthy thing where we are open to experience, live every moment totally and existentially, and evolve from there. And I can go on and on about others, and some of them are also mentioned in my book. So, coming back to this, who am I is the answers the ancient wisdom suggests, and I have tested in my own experience. I'm sure some of you have as well, and time to time, that we are really that which experience and reflect on the experience and evolve from that. We are not the faculties through which we experience or the experience itself. So putting these three together, who am I in a cryptic way, in a condensed way, is I am Om. I am an evolving awareness, that which is aware of physical, physiological, psychological, and intuitive experiences. But I experience those and evolve from there. Now let's get to the second word of the title. Again, the book title is VEL Way. So it is Om is the spirit, the sense of I. VEL is the sport it plays. It's an acronym. It stands for Verity, Evolution, and Love. Verity is the power or tendency to know the true nature of ourselves so that we can lead an authentic life. Evolution is a tendency to evolve based on our awareness. Love is that powers towards this evolution. Without love, there is no power, an inspiration to know the truth. Without love, there is no inspiration or motivation to live that truth. So these three are what I call the sport. So Om VEL Way stands for Om is the spirit, VEL is the sport it plays, the sport of life. And Way is how the spirit plays the sports. So Om VEL Way. Now in Tirumandaram is actually described pretty beautifully, saying there is a deep field, which is our meditative awareness, and two barren fields, which is physical, physiological, and psychological, because there is no the spirit is not in those are experiences. And then there is an intrinsic field that permeates all, that is the wholesome awareness. For those who cultivate the deep field, the permeated field flourish like a fertile irrigated field. So the meditative awareness or leading mindful living is the lever. I think it is Archimedes who once said, give me a long enough a lever and a fulcrum, I can move the world. The strategic lever for life transformation is our awareness. So meditation is one of the key techniques to actually use to transform your life. Now let's come to the second question. What is happiness? I'll start with the proposition. Everything we do is to increase quality and scale of happiness. Everything. Quality meaning richness or the intensity of happiness. Scale means scope or longevity. Scope meaning across number of situations, number of people. Longevity is obviously how long does it last. Now let's take that as a proposition. What is actually happiness? I look at it from three lenses. One, a sense of ease, our happiness towards that which is external. The more we are able to meet the external needs we have, the more ease in life. Now it can kind of vary from pain relief to pleasure. Second form of happiness is peace. Is not about what we have or what we lack, but how we go about gaining those. It is how aligned is our expressions, meaning thoughts, words, and deeds, aligned to our sense of standards, may that be ethical, moral, our own sense of success, or any other definition. We are at peace when our expressions are aligned to our standards or ideals. Then there is a third form of bliss, which is a synthesis of the two, but yet at a higher level of truth. It is based on how progressed we are towards a sense of our ultimate self, and how does life as a large life at large is meaningful in that context of who we are. Discovering who we are and leading a meaningful life is what makes us happy. In the ultimate analysis, self-actualization and the bliss goes with that gives you the highest quality and highest scale of happiness. So, aligned with Kurt Goldstein, in my view, in the foundational or fundamental as well as ultimate analysis, happiness is a bliss that comes from the extent of our progress in self actualization. So, where does all of these leave us? What is the way forward? What holds us back? What propels us forward in this way of thinking? If we look at life as a journey across the sea of needs and experience as the mighty numerous waves, what is the way forward? That is the focus of our next session. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope at least some of you found it useful. Again, the details are available in my book. I will see you next time, hopefully soon, in my next session. Till then, Merry Christmas to all of you and Happy New Year for those who celebrate. Otherwise, hopefully you find a wonderful way to close this year and commence next year with better motivation and higher goals. Thank you very much.